Hello and welcome back to another stream. I'm gonna do the usual audio check to start with. Oh, is that not broadcasting anything? Oh, there we go. Okay, 1 second. I'm gonna do the usual audio check. Seems fine. Okay, anyway, as you can tell by the title, today we're going to be doing some castle planning. I'll do a quick run through of what I've done since last stream, just to, keep everyone on the same page and whatnot. So pretty much I dug out here for, just basic flooring to get some stone and whatnot. Actually, I'll take some out now because we'll be using a lot of it. And other than that, I did some enchanting. I don't have the best enchantments yet, but I have the standard Silk Touch Fortune 3, a decent sword, and then I've been trying to get Feather Falling 4, but I haven't had any luck with it. So I think I'm just gonna put that off until I get a better XP farm. Tacos or pizza? Both are really good. I would say I probably eat more pizza overall though. Very random question, but I guess a good question. So I think generally I would go with pizza. Yeah. Not too much, reason behind that other than I just eat pizza more often. Then other things that have happened since last stream. Well, I have 30 levels again, so I could enchant something. Actually, did I finish that XP farm? Yeah, I finished the XP farm last stream, and then I did some grinding off stream. Other than that, the base is pretty much the same other than, more room in, excuse me, more room in here. And then, actually, let's take out more torches, because we'll probably light stuff up as we go. And then I did some more lighting up, but other than that, nothing really changed too much. And I already went to the Nether, and I didn't end up streaming that because Arctic, another person on the server, already found a fortress and just had a ceiling tunnel going directly to it. So it wasn't really much content. Oh, there's a creeper right there. So it was literally just go into the portal, walk over to the fortress, and then it's done. So yeah, there wasn't much to that adventure. And I will probably still be doing the ancient city this weekend, and then probably also the Ender Dragon realistically, just to get all that initial stuff out of the way. Then we'll make an Ender farm to have proper XP. Well, I guess one other thing is I ended up clearing the upper cave to the ravine over this way. So we'll run over there quickly, just to show it. Because I do plan to make an underground iron farm over this way and make this cave look like an actual, mine and all that, so it's not just an out-of-place iron farm. Even though, I'll probably just end up going with one of the more compact iron farms, so the location really doesn't matter. I just feel like it'd be cooler to make it in a thematic area, which is still close enough to be loaded in most of the time. And then I'll probably just make it up there near that tunnel. Even though the more aesthetic parts of the mine will be down here. And if I ever need more coal, I'm set. And I'm not in too much of a rush to make the iron farm either, because it's so much easier to get iron now that it's affected by fortune. And then I'm not sure if I'll take the aesthetic mine all the way down there, but I guess it would make sense too, because past the initial little entrance to it, it's just more cave like this, where it's relatively level with a lot of stalagmites and tights and whatnot. Other than that, not too much has changed. I have a really bad sheep farm going down on the valley below, but that's about it. So anyway, back to the overall plan for today, is planning the layout of my castle. Which, it will probably be fairly rough as far as like the detail goes today. Whereas like, I won't even really be worried about where like towers and whatnot go, it's just going to be like the general wall placement. And 1 second. Because like, I'm not 100% sure where I want everything to go yet, so I'm just going to get an overall idea of what certain layouts might look like, and then we'll add more detail after that. Or at least that's the plan. So let's add another torch just along the tunnel. Not tunnel, but like a ladder. So I think it will make the most sense to go like, actually let's just do that. Go front, like the entrance backwards. So let's start outside of like the entire mountain as well. Just to like go over my general idea. I just realized I'm still in way too high render distance for the server. I thought the server should have a mod to like fix that, so I don't have to manually change it, but I guess it doesn't work currently or something, I'm not too sure. Or I wonder if there's like a config file for it that I didn't enable. Anyway, so let's actually get further away. I might look into like a free, I'm not sure, like a free cam maybe or something, or just like try and set up my camera account to easily switch over to, because that will help with like aerial views a lot. Especially for a giant build like this. So I should be careful, I don't want to run right into some powder snow. Anyway, so from the front of the castle, the entrance will be over that way just because it's a more natural like path up to it, and then it's like right there to walk into, whereas this has to go much higher up. And then something I'm hopefully going to decide by the end of today is if I want to just build into the mountain or also on top of it. Like by that I mean, do I just want a wall connecting the different peaks and then like pretty much have that be the castle? Or do I want like filling in the gaps with like towers and whatnot on the side and then more on top of the peaks? Which I think I won't really be able to tell for sure until I have like the lower parts built up. Because my main concern about building on top of the peaks are like, they're so high that if it's not a smooth transition between like the lower parts of the castle and the upper parts, it's going to be disconnected, which I don't think makes much sense like visually. I guess it would technically work if you have like all the tunnels and paths between the parts within the mountain itself, but I think it might look a little odd from the outside. So I think if we build on top of the peaks or not depends on if the surrounding castle is high enough to like smoothly transition to it. So is the FPS good? Let me check. Oh yeah, it's just the preview stream's like really low quality. Never mind. So that's like the general plan, and then as far as like the left side of the castle here, or like the front of it anyway, I want there to be more than just like a wall across, because I think that'd be really bland if it's all sorts of like complicated like gate structures over this way, and then just a simple wall. So there'll probably be some type of building there, but we'll plan out the buildings more once we're actually inside, because it doesn't do much use like, well, I guess like thinking about the silhouette of the castle, like buildings from the outside is also useful to do. But I want something there for sure. Very effective playing. It's like I don't know what I want there, but I want something there in the mountains where I'm building a castle. Very specific. Also, I should probably be like very like I should just place like marker blocks down just to like get something placed pretty much. And as far as the gate goes, how many blocks do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9, I would say probably like, that's also 5, nice. maybe like a 5-block wide gate. Let's move this 1 block over. And I'm building the, like, gate structure like this because it'll be a piston gate. Like, I can't not make a piston gate. So, like, if this is a gate, how do I want it to transition? Well, let's just do, like, very simple. Like, this will go into the wall. I don't know if I'll have, like, a tower or something to transition, but it will be connected to, like, these parts of the mountain. So a wall across like that. And another thing I'm not sure is if I want to make towers on every lower part of the mountain like this. Because, like, a tower would work relatively well here to, like, essentially, like, shoot people in the back if they're approaching the gate and whatnot as they're leading up. And also, I feel like this is a pretty good, like, vantage point in general. So, yeah, we're just, like, essentially brainstorming right now. So let's just put, like, something might be here. I said I wouldn't plan out towers and whatnot, but here I am essentially planning out towers. But I guess just putting stuff down as, like, a way to brainstorm isn't a bad thing to do. And let's go to sleep quickly because don't want to get creeper bombed. Nope. And then, like, this little hidey hole is entirely temporary. Like, I'll probably end up, like, fully, like, I guess, like, overriding it or just replacing it. But I'll get more into that later as we, like, make our way back. So as far as, like, the actual gate or, like, entrance system goes, let's just, yeah, like, let's just do really crude, like, actually, I probably don't need to make it solid if I'm just going to remove it later, so let's do, like, dash, just to save some blocks and whatnot. Yeah, actually, that might look really cool if I have, like, a tower built into this peak with a connecting wall and then another, like, smaller tower just kind of, like, jutting out over this way. Actually, if I do that, it would probably make more sense to have it a little bit further out if it's a smaller tower. And I could potentially even do, like, a bridge going back to that one, but I feel like that might be a bit much if I'm going back here. But yeah, let's just do, like, a connecting bit back to here. Then another thing that I think I'll probably... Oh, creeper. Nope. I'm also trying to use numbers instead of, like, a mouse button to go back to the first slot, so that's going to take a bit to get used to. Yeah, another thing I'm considering doing is having a lot of courtyards, like even up here, like maybe have a small courtyard instead of making this entire place a building. Then have, like, the building part on this mountain. So, like, for this structure, it could be something like... like, tower here, give or take. And then... Oh, that's not right. Oh, that's gonna... Well, that's gonna be moving for a while. Oh, is it just fanning out now? Whoops. Actually, it might have recovered. I can't tell because the mountain's kind of high. If all of a sudden we see a ton of... Actually, did it get caught somewhere? Or is it still going down? Nope, I just saw more water spread. Oh, yep, there it goes. Actually, not that bad. Okay. Could have been worse. What was I even saying? Anyway, yeah, something about, like, courtyards versus, like, solid buildings, and I think it will probably be a mixture of the two because I don't necessarily want just everywhere to be open. Like, actual buildings is a good thing to have. And actually, now that I think about it, creepers and whatnot spawned out here, so let's put a few torches down. But at the same time, I don't want to just be, like, I don't want to walk into these really nice mountains with a lot of like unique features and whatnot, and just have it be like a few pathways between giant buildings. I want to still like use the mountain's shape. And like this peak right here, I'm not sure what I want to do with it. Let's actually go out this way. Because I want this side to be like the, like what would you call it? Like a gatehouse, more or less. But like that peak is in kind of an awkward spot if we're connecting stuff. And this would be a case for having like a camera account would be good. Like I am op on the server, so I could just go into spectator mode right now, but I don't really feel like doing that on like the survival account I'm playing with. Nice cloud position. Yeah, like if we have a tower right next to the peak and then a wall, I mean, I guess it would probably look fine just having the wall going to the peak, then like a tower on either side of it. Yeah, I mean, that should work. Yeah, I think that will be the main challenge, not necessarily like where to put walls and whatnot or like buildings, but how to blend them into the like actual mountain. Because some scenarios it will work better to have the structure like built on top of the like peaks and whatnot, or like even built into them. Whereas others it will be like kind of built around in a sense. Actually, it might look cool if I put a larger tower there. That's another thing I want to mess around with, is having like all the same style, more or less, but different sizes of like, maybe not walls, but especially towers. And with the general design I have planned for this project, that should be relatively easy to do. Actually, I could give a sneak peek of that. Now let's just put in a rough wall here. And another thing is like I have the wall designed in a way that works fairly well diagonally. So like here there's some extra space, so we could go out more this way, but I don't see much of a reason to do that now. Okay, actually let's do this. Oh, not recording, we're streaming, just to let people know if they join that I'm streaming. We could also like type in chat. I don't think if they have mods installed that shows up. I could be wrong though. Okay, and then as far as like the actual gate goes, from here, I would say like actual building there, or maybe even just a wall. I'm not sure yet. From like maybe even like what, like rampart maybe, to where like here's the courtyard. There's not like a wall per se, but there's like battlements to look down into like the gate pass and whatnot. Okay, and then here's my overall idea for the gatehouse, or like the, is it a gatehouse if it's open to the air? I think parts of it still would be. Anyway, so we have one gate here, and then as you can see, it's like a natural little drop down here. So what I'm thinking is having kind of like a, kind of an S shape, or like at least a serpentine, where you have a gate here, you have to go this way, another gate, and then you have to go back that way for the final gate. So let's do like another 5-block wide gate. Let's look at the structure again. So if we take out, so I would say probably center it there. Well, there's more mass over this way. It would be easier to like build that up. And this is already like 5 blocks. Okay, so if we go from here, it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Would then put us like here, give or take. And then we would want to move that 1 block over. And I'm not like worried about like remaining exactly with the current like mountain structure. I just want to keep the general feel of it the same, so we don't like completely just like, oh, here's a nice mountain to work with, just make it a different mountain. Is that well placed? If we do more terraforming on that back part, yeah, it should be. Which would then mean we'd like take this down a few blocks as well. Then I guess like once we're at this part of the gatehouse and we had like walls and everything, it might not look like that much of a mountain at that point, but it should still work fine, I think. Let's just like dig it out a little bit more so like the idea is more like formulated. And how many blocks do I want to go up each one? So here's a starting level. I think with this much distance between the gates, like 2, maybe 3 blocks would be the most we go up. So let's take it down to that and see. Okay, so let's actually put blocks here to make the transition a little bit more like visually clear. So we go here, like 3 blocks, another 3 blocks. Oh yeah, we could do 3 blocks up. It's like with that, we can even use slabs for the transition to be like smoother and whatnot. Let's just quickly take that out. I also like doing this because I get more stone back that will be placing down pretty much immediately. Okay, so yeah. And that will probably just be replaced with like wall and whatnot. Wall over there, wall there, yeah. Actually, that's something we should double check. The spacing between the gates, because we don't want it to be an even number or else like between here might end up being a little odd. So we have that, and then, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna recount that just to be sure. So 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait, no, that was good that time. We start here, so it's 1 in between. Oh, I started on the block. Because like this will be like the arch, and then in here is just a gate. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, okay, we're good. Good, good. And it starts, I'm gonna run over and sleep quickly, just so we don't have to worry about getting creeper bombed. Even though like the like walking area is fairly well lit up by now. The peaks are not, so let's just avoid it. Even though it's too late now and stuff's already spawned, but whatever. Okay, back we go. And actually, I'm not sure if it will be equal distances between the gates, because like this looks like a much further distance. Well, not much further, but more distance rather. Actually, like, just mark that out quickly. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it looks like we'll probably go for 11 because again we want to use an odd number of blocks to have the design I have planned work relatively well. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 in between, which would mean we want... Actually, that works out really well, now that I look at it again. We need a 5-block gap here. I mean, that's already 4, so which way would be more centered? I think let's do this way. I guess that's another thing that could, like, help determine where I actually place it. Is, how many blocks away from that side it is. Although that doesn't matter too much because we can easily like move 1 or 2 blocks over and that doesn't really... Well, I guess it could potentially. So what? So that's 25. Okay, it's an odd number. That's good. I think it was like 9. I think. Yeah, whatever. It's good enough for now. So we have the next gate up here. 4, 5. Found a good spot. Okay, yeah, it is. I just wanted to double check. That's another thing that's going to be a little bit odd to work around with this castle is I don't want to like... I want to have a lot of greenery and whatnot in the actual castle. But I need to plan to do that in a way to where it won't always be covered up with snow. Which could be interesting. Okay, and since that is 9 blocks away... Actually, how much was this? 1, 2, 3... No, this was 9 blocks, this is 11. So we could could we fit going up 4 blocks, or do we still want to just do 3? I don't know why I made it so like angled like that. That's not like the pathing you necessarily take here. That's 1. Few blocks later, make it 2. Oh, if I can like do mild parkour. Like 3 blocks later, go up again. We could totally fit going up 4 blocks for this one. Yeah, I think that should be good. I didn't make the name Otlichno, but I think it means like awesome in Russian, if I'm not mistaken. Like the original creator of the server was like, they had like their parent, one of their parents was Russian or something like that. Like they had Russian ancestry anyway. But I'm not 100% sure about that. Okay, so that is 1, 2, 3. Well, that's still only 3. You know, let's just go with it for now. I like this progression in the like incline. And actually looking at the layer, like level of stuff over this way, it probably makes sense to not be too high up. Like, why would you have a staircase up to a wall just to immediately drop back down? Actually, that's a good point. Like, this will open up to this will still be open to the air, and then this will probably be wall. Then another building door will be that way, and then this way goes down to, like, the first main courtyard. So I probably don't want this to be super high up. Oh, hello, Hybrid. Or, yeah, Hybrid Trends. It's been quite a while, hasn't it? Yeah, I'm just, like, working on planning out a castle for the new Otlichno season. That started, like, just about a week ago. Not quite. Not quite yet, because it started on Friday. So yeah, looking at this elevation, we probably... I mean, if I keep this level going across, we could probably get away with going only like one block down, maybe two. Oh, thanks, yeah. Like, especially with these mountains. Like, last season we were stuck underground, so I kind of went the polar opposite for this season and went pretty much as high up as I can go. Like, most of the like, all of the castles going to be above Y200. Which, it's a good thing that the build cap is now up to 320, I believe. Otherwise, like, the old build cap would not be enough room. So I'm just kind of like placing down like crude potential placements for walls and buildings and all that currently, just to like get an idea of what I'm going to do. It's like there's so much to these mountains that if I don't do this, it's going to become a huge headache. Oh, I should, I guess, make snow blocks for now just to clean up my inventory. And dig this back a little bit. And then this would also be like cleared out a little bit more as well. If that's not right, there we go. And then I'll do like more proper terraforming, and I guess it depends on where we put walls and all that as well. For like these kind of like crude transitions right now. Okay, so if we have another gate, or like the final gate over here. Okay, so going back to just planning out general wall placement, I think we have like a wall going back to this mountain. And then from here, I think we just continue with this wall. I'm not sure if we'll have a... Let's just put like a crossroad, or like a cross there for now. It might not be a full tower, but it might be like a low tower or something like that, maybe. We'll see. And then this goes into there. I think it would look cool if we're like built into the mountain as much as possible instead of like just making it like a square at every point. Like if the mountain comes down like this, where like part of the building is still the mountain per se. Okay, then over here. Actually, how does this gate line up? I kind of like the idea of, yeah, like, let's make this a proper tower. Well, let's make that more obvious, like, that. Then just for, like, consistency's sake, for spacing, let's make it, like, so. And then here, we'll go into the mountain as well. And then if that is a tower there, we have that connecting. I think I want to have, like, if the tower goes up like this, maybe another tower, like, kind of built into this wall. So if the tower's like, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, going out like here or so. Actually, that spacing doesn't quite work out, but just like stay with me for a bit. But yeah, if we have like part of the building coming down to here, where it's like a tower and a smaller tower on each side, and then the entrance like here, give or take, I think that could end up working like really well. Yeah, something like that. Like, again, it's like really crude to start with, but something like that. It's already almost night again, wow. Then I probably won't do any like detailed interior planning for the different buildings yet, just like kind of outlining the like where stuff might go and all that. Because it would be probably a bit too much to try and plan like a detailed outline for the entire castle in one go. We're just going for like a general like placement of stuff for now. Okay, let's get back to it. So once we're out here, okay, looking at this, for this one, we will probably have a tower. And probably another tower over there looking at the placement for everything. Yeah, that would probably look good, like, having a tower built into that peak. So let's just, like, roughly put something down quickly. There's not quite enough room. Actually, no, this should be fine. There's something like that, and then it goes back into... Well, actually, we might not even need a wall for that, depending on the size of the tower. Anyway, so if there's, like, roughly a tower there, we could probably do, like, slightly angled wall back this way. That is something I want to try doing more, is having not everything just be a, like, rigid box, really. Yeah, especially with working with the actual mountain shape and all that, having more angles and everything should... I think will end up looking a bit better. Okay, so, like, roughly some type of wall connecting over there to here. And then a wall going this way. Or something like it anyway. Going over to this peak. Which, looking at this peak, I would say we put a tower on top of it. Like, looking at how it... Yeah, a tower on top of this one, definitely. Just gotta make our way up there. Really, like, a tower on any part of it should be fine, because we'll have, like, a wall going from the base, or, like, from the tower elsewhere anyway. Tower here. Maybe a tower over there, too. I like how I started saying I wouldn't be doing, like, planning where towers go and all that, but the more I think about it, I think the more it makes sense to kind of at least have a rough idea of where they might go. Because, like, typically I just like having towers, even if they're just small towers that aren't really practical by themselves, is just as, like, separating or, like, joining walls that come in at different angles, because unless, like, it's a continuously curved wall, the transition can be kind of, like, odd if it's too abrupt. Okay, then coming back up here. I think the way I'll do this part is have it be relatively level, maybe go down one point, or like one block or so. But have that be like one layer to it, and then it goes down. So yeah, maybe something like that for this part of it. Which means we would have... Okay, so that's all planned out. Or not all. Not even close to all. And then I think this part will be all building. So this won't be a courtyard, this will be a complete building. Which, if we have a tower up there, maybe not have a wall all the way up this high, but like the tower's there. I think we take this part of the peak down a little bit, and then we just bring it back this way, maybe with like a slight angle to it, just so it's not another like flat face. And then another tower over here, roughly, anyway. Then for the buildings, they're probably not going to be like just one level. There'll be like layers to them. So maybe like this outer part will just be like a tower, then a single wall, like a small like walkway on top of the wall, and then it goes up for another layer because we'll be using a lot of layers and whatnot just to make it more varied. I guess another challenge of behind that will be making sure it's not too many layers to where it's just like there's battlements like literally everywhere. Actually, let's look over here. How do I want, like, how far do I want that building to go? I think contained in only this part is fine. And over here, it'll probably be like a separate building, maybe? Like a lower building, perhaps? Or just like walls and more courtyard space. Also, I'm just leaving all the emeralds and whatnot just out for now. Because, like, I don't have villagers yet. They won't do me much good to, like, pick up or anything like that. I think this is a part where it gets a bit too complicated to plan out for now. So let's say we'll put another tower roughly here. This is just kind of open. Actually, I guess this makes sense. Like, this could be a good, like, lower platform part, and then the building goes up higher once you get to the mountain, which makes sense. So yeah, let's leave this part like so for now. And the way we'll probably build most of the structures is like starting from the bottom and going up and just like working on the exterior and just kind of change stuff as we go. Okay, so from here, say we have like it will be roughly like that tall starting here. I don't think we'll have another gate for this part. It will just go down as a staircase. But I don't think we want to go all the way down in one go. At least I feel like that might end up looking a little odd. So instead, let's maybe go down to like that'd be a really steep staircase if we do. It's going to be a pretty steep staircase regardless, especially if we go all the way down. And maybe like to like this height, give or take. Then instead of like going down to the courtyard there, we make like some type of balcony to start with. Like maybe further out than that, maybe not. Like it will depend on how the staircase is coming down. And then from here, I'm just gonna like make a really crude, like arch or whatever, curve, I guess would be more appropriate. Just going along like this part of it. And then I guess we could also like have the elevation go down a little bit as well. So we make our way down here, loop around this side, looking out on the courtyard. Then once we're over here, I'm just going to drop it down for a little bit. Even though, like, I might bring this up as well. Kind of want this to be, like, the primary staircase. Like, we have a little landing over this way. Well, like, I guess it wouldn't even really be a landing. We're just, like, at, like, an upper courtyard. And then there's a staircase down to the lower one. Let's do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think 7 would be a good number. Again, trying to like stay working with odd numbers primarily. Actually, looking at the transition, it would probably make more sense to leave that open than we have like 8, 9 maybe? Just to like have more room. Maybe like just take that one out for now. And looking at that, it would probably make sense to have some type of like archway going over it, now that I look at it. So like, yeah, let's do like another 2 towers on each side of it. And like these are all really rough placements. We'll see how it goes. Again, the main goal from all this is just like brainstorming to find out where I want stuff to actually be put. Or where I actually want to put stuff and all that. I'm just running back to sleep to skip the night again. And drinking some water. Hydration is important. Okay, and we're still doing pretty good on stone. Wait, why is that not working? Oh, I'm disconnecting. Oof. Am I still alive? That was odd. Is the server down? 1 second. That'd be really inconvenient timing. Authentication servers are down. What? Minecraft just went down? Is Minecraft down, or is specifically our server down? Well, the server page isn't loading, so it could just be the host. 1 second, I guess. Oh, nope, server page loaded. Okay, I'll try again. Okay, yeah, I'll try. Those authentication servers are down still. Maybe I have to, like, relog into Minecraft. Let me do that quickly. Let me change scene so I don't accidentally leak anything. Although game capture is typically pretty safe. But I feel like it wouldn't give me authentication servers are down as, like, the reason for the disconnect if it wasn't that case, but I could be wrong. I'm not too familiar with how Minecraft does, like, error, like, codes and whatnot. Okay, no, that worked fine now. Yeah, okay. Crisis averted. Maybe. Oh, nope, we're good. That was odd. Anyway, did we actually sleep? Okay, we did. Back to planning stuff. Where were we? Oh yeah, like the transition between courtyards. So let's do... How do I want to do this? I guess we're at the point now where we'll be planning out the overall layout of the castle, like thematically, not necessarily individual buildings per se, but what we kind of want in each courtyard, like each layer of it. So like up there would be like more like gatehouse stuff, like an armory maybe. Yeah, those would be the primary things for up here. It's like we have all the gates leading up to the castle. Then a building here, which will be like gatehouse, armory. I think that'd be the most, maybe like a stables area. So yeah, ooh, that's an actually idea. Like leave the actual building for up here. I have this going to another walled-in area with like stables and whatnot laid out. Maybe would an inn make sense? Maybe. Actually, let me grab a few signs just so I can like jot all these ideas down in-game, like in the proper locations. I'm just grabbing all sorts of stuff that it's not signs, but I mean, at least it's used to make signs, I guess. Oh yeah, that should be plenty. Okay, so over here, let's do something like that. I guess if it's the stables here, some type of lodging might make sense. Actually, yeah, maybe not. Maybe, yeah, we'll see. I'll just leave it as gatehouse stables for now. I don't need to label all those as gates. It's kind of self-explanatory. And this goes down to some type of, like, elevated walkway. So up here we have, like, the primary courtyard, or like, I mean, tier 2 courtyard, that'd be tier 1. So down here, I mean, I guess it would make sense to maybe have like a marketplace or like maybe a mine opening and like agriculture stuff down this way. Let's go up higher into the mountains to like get a better view of where buildings might go versus just walls. Okay, with all this space back here, I feel like I'll leave this lower part entirely as a courtyard, but then don't know what I want to do with this little like donut. It's also low enough to be like more courtyard per se. Actually, I did mention like mines earlier, so like maybe, yeah, I know there's like a natural cave down this way, but this cave actually goes all the way up to the like further back portions of the castle, so I kind of want to leave that as like maybe like secret tunnel type of thing. But maybe we could use like back here as like an entrance to a mine shaft or something like that. The other thing is like all this is very angled, so it doesn't necessarily work all that well for like building placement per se. Although over here, if we go higher up, well, you know, I don't really need to mark out a wall up here because it's kind of self-explanatory. But I guess the main thing would be marking out like wall versus building. Okay, so for up here, probably like tower somewhere around here. It'll probably end up being a larger tower just to fill the space more like fully. Then maybe not quite like that, maybe like more out here, so like the wall looks more useful to be there. And then this is the main peak I wasn't sure if I want to just build into the side of versus build in a way where I also build on top of it. It's like it compared to the lower walls, it's really up there. So the transition might be kind of tricky to pull off. Anyway, let's just like we'll have some type of angled wall going across this part of the mountain. Oh, not quite there. Actually, that might be too far. Let's look up here quickly. Okay, so I would say, looking at this, a wall on top of like this lower part would probably work. Or not a wall, but yeah, a tower like roughly here would probably be good. Which means the wall does not need to be nearly as aggressively like angled as we originally have it. Good enough. And then looking at all this space here, we could easily fit a building of some type. So like, what would we put there though? I guess maybe just like another lower part. So like that could be like a staircase leading up to the entrance of the building maybe? Yeah, I like that idea. Let's put some torches down. Like, we'll have stuff spawning on us, but at least it won't be as bad in the future, I suppose. And I'm putting torches down way too densely, because I'm not used to the new, like, only needing a block light of 1 to prevent spawning now. Like, I'm so used to, like, if it's 7, it's too dark. Which, it affects the density of torches a ton. Which also, like, if you're mining the right spot, coal is really, really easy to get now. And, like, since I'm in the mountain, I'm not going to have any issue coming across coal whatsoever. Like, I have an entire lit up cave over that way, just filled with coal if I ever need some. But actually, let's go to sleep now before too much stuff spawns on us. Okay, this is really high. Let's do all this quickly. Another thing that I think I'll do for the courtyards is like the lowest height will be here, so I don't have clouds randomly like entering the visible parts of the castle. I don't mind if the clouds are like in the basement or whatever, just because like there's really no way around it. I'm not gonna just magically teleport like 3 blocks if I go down. But I kind of want the transition leading up to the castle to be like complete. Like you're walking up to the castle, the clouds are above you, the castle is above you. But I want once you enter the castle, you're just always above the clouds. As long as you like don't go into like a basement or something like that. Okay, there we go. So leading back to here, there will be some type of building on this higher part. What should it be? I guess it could just be like a farm building if I want like this lower part to be um like the lower courtyard to be mainly for like agriculture maybe. It's like for agriculture isn't really the right way to put it, but Like a marketplace would probably be better. Hey. Actually, let's kill the spider, because we don't have, like, very many mob drops yet. Especially because we haven't gotten looting. So the more of that we can get, the better. So leading up to here, it will probably be like the wall on both sides of it. I guess that isn't very good from a defensive. Oh, there's Arctic. That wouldn't be very good from like a defensive point of view, because like if the entrance to the castle is just one wall here, like that would be the weak point of the castle. Maybe we don't do that. How abrupt was the height change over this way? Ooh, yeah, pretty bad. Maybe we don't have that be like the entrance per se. Let's say we have a wall going across this part then. Yeah, let's just have like some type of wall or building just all along here. Actually, it looks like we can go back that. It would be a better idea to go back that way more. And like this won't be like wall or building in the sense that like some of it will just be like the wall, some walkway, and then the actual building starts back that, like back further. And then from here... I'm thinking we definitely build something into that peak. And then wall, maybe something else with like a bridge going across. Oh, that'd probably be a pretty good way to like fill in the, like, have it transition vertically a bit better. So we have like a base wall here, a building built into each side of the peak coming out, and then some structure in the middle with bridges going across. Yeah, I think that could end up looking really cool. So if we have a building here, let's say we have like another wall there, give or take. Not wall, but a tower. Actually, so that's part of that building, and then... if it's just like a rampart type wall, and I'm not sure if rampart's the right word, but by rampart I mean where it's like a wall with a level area behind it, to where it's not like just like a freestanding wall. I want to say rampart's the correct term for that. But then we have yeah, just like a wall going across like this ridge over here. And I realize like the next time it snows, most of this stuff is going to be really hard to find again. Actually, this is really cool. Ooh, that's an idea. I could have like maybe like a lake up here. Oh, I actually really like that idea. Like I could have a lake in this lower back area, then have it like a waterfall cascading down this way. That's actually like made really well for it. It's like a mountain lake up here, and then that has like it's flowing into this lower courtyard into some nice water feature or something. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I think that actually... wait a second. How do I make a lake in the mountains without it constantly freezing over? Doesn't it need like a block above it? Like if it can snow on the lake, it will freeze, I think. Is that how it works? So like you would need something blocking ice from forming. I know flowing water wouldn't freeze, but... Okay, yeah, so we need a block above it for it to not freeze. Maybe we could have, like, a bunch of trees everywhere as well. Because the challenge I'm running into is I want there to be a lot of greenery within the mountain, like, walls, because the way the mountain is set up, like, the way the mountain is relatively high peaks and, like, I guess ridges all the way around where the castle will be. So I kind of want the feeling of it being like, would it still be an, like, is Oasis only for, like, deserts? Or is it like any harsh environments where typically like a lot of grass and stuff doesn't grow? But I kind of want it to feel like it's a harsh, like, snowy mountain, but once you're inside, like, the valley or whatever between all these peaks, like, vegetation and whatnot can grow reasonably well. So maybe I could, like, prevent ice from forming by having, like, tree canopies covering it and whatnot. Because, like, we're too high up to, like, have blocks up there that we wouldn't be able to clearly see. Because, like, even glass, it's only, like, 100 blocks up, if not less than that. Yeah, from here it's roughly 100 blocks up. Because I'm pretty sure it has to be, like, a solid block. Like, a lot of the... Okay, so an oasis is purely desert. So, well, I guess it at least gets the idea across. Like, a verdant area high in the mountains because it's protect... Like, even though that... I don't think that's technically how it would work, but, like, because the climate would still be really cold. Actually, I guess we could kind of simulate what's, like, naturally occurring over that way. Where it's, like, mountain ridges all the way around. Maybe just, like, valley would be the way to put it. But yeah, like, a bunch of greenery inside the actual, like, castle area behind all the mountain ridges and whatnot. We just need to figure out a way to make it so it's not just always covered with snow. Which could be interesting. I guess all the trees would end up being covered in snow in that case anyway. And, like, if we need to really justify, just say, like, magic or some shit. Either way, actually, I don't think I would want to tower all the way out this way. Actually, nah, it should be fine. And then we have more wall coming out this way, but, like, angled slightly to, like, go back on the main portion of it. And let's throw down a few more torches, and then we'll make our way back to sleep the night away. Also, hey, mine, I'm not sure if I ever actually said hi to you. I just noticed you typed in chat. That should be good for now. So right now I'm just kind of, like, going all around, placing down, like, rough walls and whatnot where stuff might go. Like, no actually, like, detailed planning, but just kind of, like, brainstorming through placing blocks. Which is really probably the best way to do it, because, Like, if you just try and brainstorm the entire structure without putting down anything to, like, mark the ideas, you're gonna forget a lot of the ideas by the time you're done. I guess, like, writing them down as well wouldn't be a bad idea, but we have signs and blocks, may as well use them. Okay, if we have a large lake over that way, we'll probably end up terraforming this lower part quite a bit. I guess I could also treat it more of like aquifer, maybe, to where it's like the source of it's fully sheltered and then everything leaving would be mostly flowing water, so it doesn't matter if it's covered or not. Okay, so if we have the lake there, this looks like the obvious like end or exit for it into the castle. Then we would have like a small amount leaving it that way to make like a waterfall. So in that case, we'd want some type of archway here to have it flowing out, I think. Now we get to see all of our nicely placed stone bricks covered up. Let's not worry about putting like potential tower placements down at this point, but just have something like this, then, and maybe not even that far. It'll be slightly angled, which it should be fine. I hope anyway. And connecting over to here. The other thing is I don't really want to I don't want to fight the snow too much, because I think that will be a battle I can't win without just putting a blanket over everything, which again, I'm too high up for that to be a reasonable thing, because I would be able to see it. Actually, there's enough room out here, we could probably do more than just a tower. Sure what, though? Um... Yeah, I don't know what to do with this part. Maybe it could just be like another elevated portion. To where like, from here you come down, you can go that way downwards, and then like up here. Yeah, I think that could work, because I don't see any obvious building like shapes I could really make with this kind of like angled like outshoot. Okay, that's another thing. If we make the lake, we'll probably have to change our initial plan of keeping this. Actually, no, that would actually probably work out. Oh, that's not loaded in, right? That'd probably work out fine. Because if we have like the source up here, then it overflow. Oh, that. I wonder how odd that looks to have clouds underwater. Probably pretty odd, but whatever. it should be fine. We could have like the entrance to the secret tunnel be underwater, which should be fine. So source flows down here, making another smaller pool. And then, what's this? Just like one of those like what goes up? Oh, it goes up to the top of the other mountain. Okay, interesting. Okay, so some type of structure up there, courtyard down here with water now apparently. I think if I want to mine, this would be the best spot to have it. Actually, that works out relatively well because like our like aesthetic iron mine will be this way anyway. So we could potentially have a like connection to it here and then also outside of the castle. I guess that would be like another secret entrance, but we'd have to like obscure it some way so it's not just like a direct way into the interior of the castle. Maybe like a... Oh, that would be interesting. Have like the dungeon under this front part. So like it's not really a mine entrance, it's more of a dungeon entrance, which like loops back around here. I'd have to double check where I plan to put the iron farm though, because I don't want it to be too close, because then iron golems will spawn where they shouldn't. Okay, I think we're good to move up here now. So my initial idea for this upper part is like a villager trading hall and like villager breeder and all that in like a large-ish building here. I'm just trying to get to the top of this section to see how it might be good to like split it up. Oh, I need to be careful because I don't have feather falling yet. I guess I technically have feather falling 1, but not quite as good as feather falling 4. It technically does something, but that's about it. Okay, so for the lower section, I think I'll stay below this peak, or at least like not build into it. And then for this back part where like all the keep, like the main castle or the keep will be, I'll probably like build more directly with this upper part. I don't want the midsection to jump immediately up to like the highest part. Like if I build on top of those front peaks, that's fine because it's like fully separated. I guess that's another thing. I don't want the front of the castle to be the tallest part because then you... Actually, I guess it's so far back there's really no chance you'll see this far back part if there's like anything built up on the front. I guess the other reasoning behind it is once you're inside the castle, like you're making your way around like this part. If this building is too tall, you're not going to see the keep very well. Decisions. Now, let's say this will be separate, so we'll put a wall here to like make that distinction. Then the wall will go like all the way back here. I'm just hoping like powder snow can't spawn this high up. I have no idea if it can or not. Okay, so that's all connected. We're going too far back, so let's move back up this way. But the general idea will be some type of building separate from this lower, or like the midsection. Then this is in the same tunnel that we ran into earlier. I probably won't have it open up at this point. I'll probably like hide it until we're actually in the like back part of the castle. Or I guess like having multiple entrances to it wouldn't be bad either. I guess it depends on how we actually plan out everything. Oh, it's getting dark again. Let's just do the really simple, like, temporary wall of, like, this won't be open to the outside. Yeah, something like that should be fine. I'll just put more torches down as I make my way back to the bed. Stuff can spawn literally everywhere still. Ooh, we're out of torches. At least I have a good amount of coal now that we can just make more, but... I knew building here would kind of burn through torches really quickly because, like, we don't just have a horizontal area to light up, we have all the verticality to worry about as well. Hey. Do you have any, like... Okay, yeah, we do. You know what? Good enough for now. Okay, where were we? Did I put a wall on this back edge? I think I did, right? It's gonna be so hard to find everything now it's covered with snow, but whatever. Then this is just like world marker type deal. Okay, so some type of building here, I was thinking probably like villager trading hall. We could also do like a brewery. Maybe like, what would be, like, so like this would be like the market, then this would maybe like be the like artisans guild maybe, or something like that. Where it's like apothecary, uh, it's pretty much just going to be trading and like brewing probably, or something like that. We have a wall there, or tower there, give or take, so then let's put like a rough wall going back this way. That's 4 blocks, we don't want that, let's just do 5. And then the wall goes back. And then probably... just say like... I guess it would make sense to like build it into this wall, so let's put like the tower like here, give or take. Maybe not even really tower, but just like corner point of it. So it's like built into this ridge and not like higher. Actually, if we don't want it built into that, we could probably move it down a bit, but it's all just like rough markings for now. And let's do this to make it easier to see. It's a like archway. Yeah, that's all good for now. A zombie died there. Well, that's an idea. Like, instead of having it be like a defensive tower up there, we could like build this building up to a peak to have like a spire there or something like that. Like a, not really a wizard's tower, but just like a I guess a decorative tower, like a tower to more symbolize status instead of like defense per se. Okay, so from here, wall going back this way. Then that's going to be built into that mountain peak, so that should be good. Then that will be all built up like that, and then a wall on the back part of it. Okay. And because this will all be like mostly inside a building, I'll probably just like flatten a lot of the terrain and whatnot, just to make it easier to build around and all that. So I think that is good for this part, because again, I just kind of want to plan the general layout and not like, oh, this building will have a room over here, another room that, because that just, it'd be too much to do all at once. Like, if I have a general idea of where the buildings are, it's going to be a lot easier to like work on individual parts of the castle. Okay, so we have second layer courtyard up here. Lower courtyard. So we have lower, mid, and then I kind of want a high courtyard as well. How do we want to transition up to that one? And the high courtyard will probably involve the most terraforming, because I'm pretty sure this is higher than most of over here. I mean, I guess like the high courtyard doesn't necessarily have to be like physically higher. It's just like higher status because it's further back into the castle and it's harder to get to. And because it would be like higher status or like more protected or whatever, we could probably do like another like gatehouse leading up to it. Like it's a courtyard for the keep per se. We could do like a diagonal gate. Like my compact piston gate design doesn't work. I mean, the concept works for a diagonal gate, but the most compact version of it wouldn't. But like I could easily modify it specifically for a diagonal gate, which could be cool to do. Like what I'm seeing right here would be like, if I do want another set of gates, or at least one gate leading back here, it'd be like roughly a tower here and then a tower right there. And then we'd have like this lower part with another gate at the end of it. Yeah, let's plan on that for now. Like all this spacing is just kind of thrown out there, but just like the general idea of everything. So I would probably bring this down quite a bit, just so it's not like we have to climb all the way up, then go immediately back down. So I'd probably bring that down to be like 3 blocks higher than here. A little diagonal gate. I'm gonna have to do a ton of terraforming back here to have like the right feel for everything. It's like I don't want it to be like you climb over a hill to like just go down a ton. The other thing is I don't want clouds visible on the land within the castle. Like if you go into a basement or whatever, it's fine. But well, that's something I want to see. Like what do clouds look like if there's water involved? Oh, perfect. Like the clouds won't be like inside the lake. So that's actually pretty nice. So that is that issue averted. So we can have a lake, assuming we find out a way to not have it always frozen over, of course, but that should be relatively easy, I think. So we have archway there, coming down this way. Then it looks like it'd be another wall or like tower or whatever roughly here. And across that way. Actually, it should be fine to have it there as well. Which means we'd have just rough placement wall going across this way. And then this could be like secondary gatehouse or like barracks or whatever. And I imagine he's probably just at the skeleton farm. Yeah, so like just rough wall going back this way. And that connects to what we had over there. Actually, wait a second. Is this the gatehouse? Oh, it is. That actually works out relatively well. Well, Yeah, that's going to be an interesting thing to plan. Actually, no, that actually works out really well, because, like, this upper gatehouse doesn't necessarily need to be connected to this lower one. It will just be, like, visible from it. So, like, this will be a higher wall. And then if we have, like, this initial part here, more like a stables or whatever. So, like, you walk into the castle, there's a little archway here, going into, like, stables with a higher wall behind it, going to the upper courtyard. Or, like, upper gatehouse, barracks, whatever system. Or something like that. Like, a lot of this is just really rough planning for now. Probably going to change it a bit as we go, but at least having the general plan laid out will, I mean, it should help a lot as we go. I could imagine it would be a nightmare to, like, oh, we're building a castle now in, like, 100 by 200 block area. And just kind of wing it the entire time. Probably would not go very well. Like, it would probably start out fine, but then stuff doesn't line up properly and all that. Like, at least by doing this, we can, like, roughly estimate where stuff will be, so we can at least have it be an odd number of blocks between different locations. Now, I think approaching it from building low to high will help a ton with adding layers and everything. Like, if we do the outer part, the outer low part first, we can build up from that easier. Like, if we make the base or, like, foundation for everything, it's gonna simplify a lot of steps. Okay, so from here, actually, I'm gonna need more stone bricks soon. How do I want to do this? Like, this is an oddly like, even. Actually, no, that's powder snow, that's fine. That's all, like, I don't need to defend that. People can't get through it. Like, people being is like theoretical, it's super deep snow. It's not like just a way to walk up to the castle, really. Granted, it's also on the top of a giant mountain. Like, getting there is not an issue. It's just, like, oddly level to where it's kind of tempting to build there, but it's not really practical to go all the way down that way. What I'm trying to decide now is, ooh, that's an idea. There could be, like, a disconnected tower connected only by, like, a bridge. So let's say, yeah, we'll have a tower here. But, like, the main castle will be only that way. Oh, hello, Arctic. I'm just, like, planning out, like, like the rough layout of everything. But not much more than that. Okay, so if we have that there, we'll just have, like, a wall and probably a tower or whatever on the main. Actually, maybe not a tower, but just something on the, like, main part of the castle. Do we want it? Actually, that might look good. Like, have the wall kind of built into that instead of on top of it. So, like, we'd go back like this more. Oh, not quite like that. Oh, I can see all the commands whenever you mess around with the toponomy? Yeah, toponomy sounds right, because it'd be like it's involving maps and whatnot. But it's probably toponomy. Actually, I really don't need this account opt actually, yeah, I'm just gonna do that so I don't get spammed by all the commands. Whoops. Almost did it again. Okay, now I won't get... Because, like, I can open up the console easy enough that it's not a huge issue. Oh, but then that actually would go, like, right back up to this tower. That works out reasonably well. And then just for, like, a final connection, it'd probably end up being, like, oh, yeah, whatever, close enough. Like, just a wall of some type going back this way somehow. I don't think I planned out this building much at all, did I? Oh, no, I didn't, because I didn't know what I wanted to do for there. Let's go on top of this peak momentarily just to see what we have to work with. Oh, there's a ladder up there. I don't think I put that there. Somebody else has been exploring my mountain, which, I mean, that's fine. I mean, this does look like a really good spot to build something, right? Like, all these peaks are good for something. Wait, you're listening to me, I don't have to type to you? Okay, yeah. It will just be a matter of transitioning from the lower parts to the upper part that we have to find out, but like this is like a perfect area to build some type of structure on top of it. I think the way to do it will be don't build the full structure on top of the peak, but like start building it like at least like halfway up it, maybe lower, and then have parts of it built into the mountain above it. I think it would stand out too much if it was just on top of it. And like same goes for over there. Like there's enough room to build something there, so we probably should. I guess that's not necessarily the best way to think about it. It's like, oh, we can, so we should. And I'm not going to worry about putting down like pseudo walls or anything up here yet because it entirely depends on how the lower parts are like shaping up. Before we like actually put anything down up here. But it does look like a wall should be here. Because there will be some type of structure there, so probably should be like a back part to it. Although I guess that's high enough up that it doesn't necessarily need it. We'll see. I'm just putting torches down because, like, this is technically where our temporary base is, and if creepers can't dive bomb me, that'd be ideal. Okay, so we got that all figured out. Now let's go back to the, like, far back part of the mountain. This would technically be outside, I think. We could potentially do, like, another, like, waters. Oh, there's a lava source right there. Interesting. I almost jumped right into the powder, or, yeah, powder snow? I always want to call it powdered snow. Actually, let's not overdo the waterfalls, because, like, where's all that water coming from? Even though there is, like, enough room to make a small lake here, but let's not overdo it. Because also, like, that water would have to go somewhere down there, and, like, that's back in the spawn area. I don't necessarily want to flood everywhere over there, so let's not do that if possible. Although, actually, maybe another water source in the back part of the castle would maybe make sense, so we don't have to, like, justify, like, plumbing or something, bringing it all the way back there, but it should be fine. That guy went flying. Okay, so we are back here. We have a wall down that way, which would come up something like this. Now, what's the other side of this peak look like? Oh, I'm gonna get punted off. Gotta watch out for you. Yeah, a tower, like, built into this peak seems like it would work well. And maybe, like, a tower somewhere along there. Can't say for sure. Then from here, it looks like it'd probably work best to, like, go back a little bit before going across. Like something like this, maybe. A donkey? Was there a donkey there? What? Okay, whatever. I don't know if I want to build out onto this yet. Like, maybe... I guess, like, since we're at the back part of the mountain, it would make sense to have, like, more aesthetic stuff. But for now, let's just assume we go straight back. Then another large peak to kind of work around back here as well. Oh. Oh, that could have ended much more poorly. Okay, I'm just kind of putting my last few torches down, and then... Actually, I have stuff to make more, but I'll head back to sleep. Just to pass the night, so we don't get creepers literally everywhere. I just may as well put torches down as I make my way back and see clearly dark areas. I need a torch. Yeah, I did pick it back up. It's almost been 2 hours, wow. It's kind of crazy. Let's actually go up this way so we don't go all the way down to come all the way back up. I'll probably just do very rough planning for, like, the keep part of the, or portion of the castle. just because it's... Actually, we need more stone. It's going to be like a much more complicated portion of it that... I mean, I guess I haven't really been doing very much like detailed planning yet either, but looking at the way it's formed, it's going to need more terraforming than everything else so far. We don't have a wall here. Let's do like a rough wall like this. It'll probably be like further back this way, but I just want that like blocked off. Okay, so that is like this. Let's go back to the middle part before we like go too far this way. Okay, so from here, another tower would like just very roughly be something like that. Then for this part, I think just like a wall going across would be the best way to approach it, really. Actually, I think for a lot of like these interior like separating walls, it'd probably be better to treat them more like buildings, to where it will be like kind of a wall on this side, but then it goes up into like windows and a roof and all that, and then it like opens into a proper building on this side of it. So it's still like separating it, and it's like a stone brick wall or like a stone wall and all that, but it's not like it's not really meant for defense per se, more as just like a separator. So we have that probably like go to this level. Hello, Asian Mando. So I just kind of stream whatever for this. Like for the time being, it's probably mostly Minecraft, but also, I mean, presumably whenever the next Elden Ring patch comes out, and if it has PvP balancing, I'll probably do PvP in Elden Ring again, but I just kind of feel like the game's in a stale, like, spot right now to where I'm not too excited to PvP in it. Then I might play other games eventually, but for now, probably just Minecraft and at some points Elden Ring. And then this server is just a private server for like friends essentially. We started a new world last Friday, and right now I'm just kind of like going around the mountain I plan to make a castle in, just roughly laying out where certain parts will be. I probably won't do any actual building today. I might like show a sneak peek of like the wall and tower design I plan to use, or like not strictly the design, but the style, anyway. So far I've kind of planned out the first, like, 2/3 of the castle. I'll just do a quick walkthrough, just to, like, kind of refresh all the ideas again. And I'll just start from, like, the very outside of it, even. It's just... It's a big project for sure, but I think the use of courtyards and whatnot will fill up the space a lot faster than just trying to like make a solid building throughout the entire thing. So if we go all the way out here, this will be the entrance to it. I have a lot of terraforming to do and like path planning and all that, but it should be a fun time. I just want to go far enough back that we can get a good look at the mountain as a whole. Oh, and then as far as plugins, we don't really have plugins per se. We have a few custom data packs for like quality of life stuff, but we are using a Fabric server just for like performance improvements and all that. Like one of the custom data packs are like these world markers, where if we like hover it over, we can name certain areas in the server. So like I named this mountain the Frost Ridge Mountain because it's like a fairly straight line going all the way back that way, all the way this way, and it's covered with snow. And then my castle will be built in Frost Ridge Peaks because it's peaks on Frost Ridge Mountain. Very intuitive names, I have to say. So the entrance to the castle will be on that side, and then like a wall going across here into like a tower on this side, and some type of building here, I'm not entirely sure yet. I was kind of thinking of making like the dungeon below this part of it, like based on how the first courtyard is structured, it might work well, but we'll see. And then it'll be like a gatehouse type building on this side. And then let's just run back up. And I'll have like a winding path going all the way like around this everywhere. And I'll probably end up making a few buildings along the path leading up to it. Maybe like only a handful, not too many. Just because I want the main focus to be like the castle itself. And I plan to have like a 3-gate system entering it, so your outer gate, and it does a little like sideways like movement here, another gate, and then it goes back this way for the final gate. And then the gatehouse itself will probably be a combination of like part of this mountain and this mountain. I kind of want to leave like the gates, or like the areas between the gates open to the sky, with like walls on all sides of it, and maybe like a tower there, so like there's really like nowhere to hide between the gates and whatnot. And then this lower part will probably be more like a rampart to where the floor is the same height as the cat or the walls, to where it's not like you have to walk up to the walls and then there's space in between. But like all these ideas are like subject to change based on how it all like takes shape and whatnot. Then once you're through the final gate, the entrance to the gatehouse itself will probably be over this way with like a stables or something here initially, leading into like the actual building back here. Actually, let's look at this. So that will be a wall going from this upper part. Yeah, like the actual entrance to the building will probably be roughly here. With all this more or less open. Actually just mark that out roughly. That should be good. Okay, moving on to this other part. So once you're in the castle, this is still all open to air. Then we have a staircase going down this way, which will stop at like an elevated part. I'll probably have to mess around with this staircase a bit just so it doesn't feel too steep or anything like that. I might even have it to where like it kind of like winds down this hill to where it doesn't go all the way down right away. It's more of a gradual incline, being like a curved staircase. Actually, the more I think about it, the more that'll probably end up looking better as well. And then this lower courtyard will probably be more for like a market, a lot of greenery. Ideally, I'll have to mess around with like having greenery and water features because it is in the mountain and stuff will just be snowed on, frozen over. But I kind of want this to be like a lake that goes out to here for like a stream or whatever. And then also like out this way for like a waterfall. But we'll see how that ends up working. It kind of relies on finding out a way to have a body of open water that isn't always frozen over, which could be interesting. Ooh, I just had an idea. Since this would be like like maybe a mine over here, like a dungeon, maybe a mine. We could potentially do like a blacksmith with a like water wheel powered hammer. That could be an interesting thing to try and get to work. Or like even not work, but like build. Just it's an idea. But then we would potentially need an outlet for the water. Oh, that could be the building I make up here. 1 second. I had idea. I had an idea. I need to try and figure it out. So, oh, okay, thank you for sleeping, Arctic, if you're still listening. If I have the lake here, water flowing out that way into like a lower, like, lake or whatever. Is this a good spot to make a blacksmith? Or a blacksmithing shop, anyway. It's kind of an awkward spot with this little peak right there. I guess I could like make it in this hill. Yeah, that should work fine. Yeah, just another idea. Just to like wonder about. Like, I guess initially I was having just like another balcony over this way to like look out at the water and the courtyard and all that. Could be interesting. Okay, then moving back, we have like the mid courtyard, and then over here will be just like an artisan type building with like villager trades, potion brewing, all that type of, just like farms, I guess, in a sense, built into there. But primarily villager trading. Like, actually, I could move like the potion brewing back further into the castle as well, just to not have like everything so like concentrated in one area. Because I want all parts of the castle to actually be useful. Like, I don't want it to feel like there's no reason to go back into the more decorative parts of the castle. It'd still be nice to have useful stuff there. Anyway, so now we're kind of planning this back part, which I think is going to be a little bit more difficult to plan than the earlier parts because I'll probably end up doing a bit more terraforming than the other parts. Because if we have... Actually, let's just take this down to like our like rough levels. Like probably only like 3 blocks up from here. Which would be this block, it looks like. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, maybe not that low. That's a pretty large difference compared to what it is right now. I mean, that's a pretty large difference too, to be fair. Yeah, we're gonna need to do a lot of terraforming here, which, I mean, isn't necessarily a bad thing. So like this will be the entrance. We'll have a diagonal gate there, and then another gate roughly here. And I'm gonna need to fill in like all these floors because not the best like building surface or anything like that. Then this will be another courtyard. Honestly, I think I'll probably fill in the floor to somewhere around here. I'm not sure quite what level yet. Let's look at the Y value. 205 would probably be a good number. I'm kind of waiting to see clouds come by just to see how high up we are compared to them, but somewhere around here, probably. Just kind of like fill in the entire area. And in terms of buildings, if we have that there, like, yeah, probably a wall here. Just like very roughly placing blocks for like the general idea and all that. Actually, maybe like bring it out this way a little bit, and then we'll have a building or something, like a tower there, and then wall continues back this way with the doorway to something here. Like this looks like a decent enough spot to make a building. Maybe, we'll see. And then the proper keep up this way. Shoot, if this is roughly 205, what was he like mid-courtyard at? Like, as far as the Y level goes? I'm pretty sure that's lower than the mid-courtyard. Actually, it might be roughly the same. Yeah, okay, like a few blocks lower. Not too bad. Okay. So if that's going all the way across, what I might end up doing is having another section even higher. Ooh, actually, I just had an idea. We could leave... So there's a kind of interesting structure over this way to where it kind of just goes down like that. What I might do is kind of try and terraform it to where like this is a ravine here. And then it's a bridge that goes across into the actual keep. I'm not sure if that would end up looking good, though. I like the idea of like a drawbridge into the keep compared to the courtyard, though. Let's actually go over here to see how much room we would have to work with for that idea. Like, if we take out all this land to make like a proper ravine, there should be a good amount of space to work with for the keep. I think, anyway. Actually, I guess it depends on... Actually, never mind. That is not much room at all. It's like 15-ish blocks, maybe 20. We go from here. I guess that's a decent amount. I guess that also brings up the odd case of where it's like they have all the defenses over this way, but then ultimately the keep is just kind of open to the outside if it's a ravine coming in and it's not like blocked off or anything like that. So probably maybe not have it open to the outside, but still have like the pit here. Just something to separate the keep from the courtyard, essentially. What that is, I'm not entirely sure yet. Either way, we have some type of building there. And I think to... What level is this? Okay, this is 205. Just to like help visualize like evening everything out, let's put these across like this opening. Just like better show, we'll fill it in at some point. And even if we fill it in, it doesn't necessarily have to be like all one level. Because we can go down a few blocks, we could go up a few blocks, just not down that many blocks. So keep over that way. I wonder if it would potentially look cool to have like the entrance to the keep have like an archway over the pit. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to mess around with it or like brainstorm a bit more. But like, this would definitely be where the keep is primarily. Like, I don't want it to be that large because it just gets too complicated to build if it just keeps going and going. I want it to be like a separate, like freestanding building that is primarily in these peaks and then like the area between them. I just need to think about how I want to actually like enter it a bit more. Okay, I'm just gonna head back and sleep just so it's not, like, spawning creepers and whatnot everywhere. Actually, it'd probably be easier to plan out the keep from, like, a higher vantage point so we can more easily see how large, like, all the individual parts are. Like, when we're just looking back at those peaks, it looks like it's a ton of room to work with, but we have to remember that it's only like 20 blocks for that specific part, so we might want to just fill in the hole in front of it, just to have that little bit of extra space to work with. I was actually trying to get on top of one of those, like, further back peaks. Like, maybe... Oh, let's just go up this way. I just realized I have all these signs, but I didn't actually place them down for anything. We're trading... Actually, let's farm the wheat just because it's always good to have as much as possible. Ooh, good harvest. Just doing this real quick. Darn survival Minecraft, having to, like, survive and stuff. What was I doing? Well, I was gonna name stuff, that's right. So over here, actually not really jail, but like dungeon slash mine, water that comes down from the lake. Then, as part of the water falling down, maybe like a water wheel for a black, oh, blacksmith over here to where it would be like a water wheel partially in the water coming down, powering a hammer or something like that, not too sure. And then like trees, greenery in general, like market stalls, something like that. Okay, we didn't break anything. That's good. So that's low courtyard, mid courtyard. And I'll probably still call it high courtyard even though it's like the same height as this, just because it's like further back into the castle. Yeah, probably take that down another block or two. So, no idea what would be over here. The keep would be somewhere here. I am kind of leaning towards the idea of having a drawbridge, but then maybe have... I'm just trying to think of the best, like, how would the transition to having a random ravine in the middle of a castle make sense? Is what I'm trying to, like, brainstorm right now. It's like, if we have a ravine down there, that's also, like, we'd have to go really far down to make use of that underground area as well. I guess there's enough room for the keep, like, in the peaks themselves. We don't necessarily even have to, like, fill that in, because, like, this is another, like, 10 to 15 block wide section we could use. That's, like, 10 to 15 blocks wide. Like, the keep could just entirely be in the peaks. Which would also probably make the most sense because it'd be, like, the most prominent way to make it. Like, you could very easily see it even from the entrance to the castle because it'd be quite a ways above everything else. Okay, so let's say we go with that. We leave the giant pit here. Well, I guess we don't need to have it be, like, just a bottomless pit with nothing there. We could have, like, a low courtyard below a bridge and all that, and just have, like, more shops or something below it. Oh, but we don't want to go... But, like, we don't really want to build in cloud height, though. I guess that's the most awkward thing about it. I guess we could have, like, another water feature or something like that. Oh, that's an idea. Have, like, water down here so it's like a moat or whatever. And then we have, like, a waterfall coming out of the back here. Because honestly, I'll probably end up terraforming this giant opening anyway. Just because, like, it looks kind of odd. So, like, if I terraform this in a way to where it's like a waterfall going down, maybe not all the way down the mountain, but into, like, a lake here or something like that, that could be cool. Okay, so let's go with that idea for now. Another lake slash water something. Lake slash moat. Is it a moat if it's only one side? I'm not sure if a moat technically... I don't think it has to technically be all the way around. I think it's just like a water-filled ditch. I could be wrong, though. Okay, so we have a moat here. Which means we could probably have... So the keep would probably make sense to be... I'll figure it out eventually, I swear. And honestly, we could probably, like, some type of... Oh, we're down here now. Another type of building over here, but again, I don't really want to mark out the buildings right now because it's going to be awkward before filling in this courtyard. So that drops off, and then we have a bridge going across. Which, I mean, let's just, like, let's just put blocks down, see where it goes. Let's jump up here. Just to get a better vantage point of this part of it. It's like the keep, since it's primarily in the peaks, and we won't have much room outside of that, we probably should make sure we use all the peaks available to us. Which means we'll be, like, this won't so much be a wall, this will just be the keep itself. Which, looking at it, should probably... Yeah, let's say, like, here, give or take. I think on this side of it, I want it to be... Like, I want it to be more building based, but on that side of it, there's already going to be a building along, like, the lower part of that ridge anyway. To where it's not as much of an issue. Okay, so that will be up there. Then we'll still probably be, like... Well, that's a goat. Something, like, very roughly like this. Honestly, like, right here... Yeah, let's go for over here. Like, it doesn't need to be symmetric, it doesn't need to be, like, perfectly centered for it to be the entrance to the keep or anything like that. Let's do, like, another 5-block tall opening. Or 5-block wide opening, rather. So this will be the entrance to the keep. Then just, like, more walls and whatnot going this way. And, like, all sorts of towers and all that built into it as well. And then we just kind of, like, wrap around this way to have, like, the lake go back here. Something like that, anyway. And then we curve back into this peak. Like this ridge, mountain, whatever you want to call it. So I think that should... Actually, we could do, like... no, planning the exterior of the keep right now would kind of be a waste, I think. It'd pretty much just be outlining the exterior of the peaks, which isn't particularly useful. Like, we're not separating anything. There's, like, a boundary already in place by just the mountains being shaped the way they are. Let's put a few torches down, even though we might technically end up flooding this place, but I guess it'll be easier to do that if there's not water. Oh, that's the other issue. It might be odd to have a drawbridge over a moat if the moat's always frozen. That could be interesting to figure out. You know what, that's future me's problem. I'm sure there's a way to do it. Actually, one of the data packs we have is ghost lamps, which are just invisible light sources. I'm pretty sure it's light, like the light level that determines if ice or snow is melted, right? So if that is the case, I could potentially use ghost lamps as a way. I mean, it would look weird because it would be glowing. Or is there... No, it's light-based, so they would have to be on. There might be a way to have the block exist but be turned off. But if they're not emitting light, they wouldn't melt ice. I'm pretty sure. Either that, or I just look at more blocks as a potential way to block, like, snowfall and ice formation, like, up in the sky. But, like, there has to be some way to block snowfall and ice formation relatively easy. Or, like, not it doesn't need to be easy per se, but, like, unobtrusive would be a better way to put it. Rip. Oh, let's put a sign down for keep. Okay. Actually, what time? Oh, it's almost 9 o'clock already. Which, I mean, that's not late or anything, but I've been trying to exercise somewhat frequently. Just to, like... And I've never really been, like, out of shape per se. I mean, okay, like... And, I mean, I've definitely been more out of shape than other times, for sure, but it's never been that bad. But trying to be in better shape, so probably should exercise and whatnot. Burge. No, bridge. And then I'll just put one more sign down for keep. I don't like exercising too late, because then more difficult to fall asleep and whatnot. So I think what I'll do is give a sneak peek of the general, like, design I'll be using. The next stream, it might be Ender Dragon and Ancient City time. If I don't do one before that where I, like, actually start to build and whatnot. Oh, hello. No, unfortunately we're not letting random people join. Right now it's kind of like invite only, to where it's like friends and friends of friends and that type of deal. So sorry about that. What was I gonna do? Oh, sleep, that's right. Anything else I forgot that I could potentially do as far as planning goes? Oh yeah, again, no worries for asking. Like, it's a simple enough thing to just answer quickly like that. I think the general plan should be pretty good now. And as far as, like, the actual, like, building strategy goes, I'll probably primarily do front to back and then bottom to top. To where, like, I'll make the gates archways, make the walls around them, make the tops of the walls, build the towers up as I make the walls, make the further back tiers, make the buildings connecting to those lower tiers, and just kind of keep branching off of that, because I think that'll be the best way to go about it. Anyway, so to end the stream, I'll just do a quick little sneak peek of the style. So what I particularly like about this is it's very, like, easy to make minor adjustments to. So, like, here's a primary wall design, but it can easily make slight, like, angled walls like this by just, like, kind of stacking the design like this. And ignore the back part of this wall. It's from, like, an earlier version where it was more Like, I think this is too tall of a wall. I guess it might work for like the keep or some parts of it, but for the most part, I feel like it's too tall. Actually, after I've made more adjustments to all this, I think I would take that out, but we'll see. For now, I'll primarily be using like this style of wall with this style of tower. Like with this tower, it's easy to make larger by just like moving those blocks out a little bit. Then it's like 1 block wider, or make it 2 blocks wider. And it also works relatively well in having it be slightly smaller, if it's just like this or something like that. So it's very adaptable, which should work really well for this because, like, I think it will end up looking better if the towers are different sizes, both like width and height. The walls can easily be like taller based on how tall this section is. Like building into the mountainside is going to work really well because it could be like that or something, and that still looks good. Now that I think about it, for like the higher or like the taller sections, it might be a good idea to like refine this design a bit as well. Also, it took so many iterations to get to this part. It's like I've used this style of battlements before. I mean, it's more or less what I ended up using over here. Well, not exactly. For like that old wall design. And this is simple enough, I might actually just do a tutorial for it, just because I really like the design, especially with how the tower design works, how adaptable it is. So may as well make a tutorial for it. It also like has like proper like arrow slits and all that. And honestly, like it's simple enough that like this is pretty much a tutorial. If you want to build it, you can build it now. Yeah, so many iterations to get there. Like this was an earlier version, but then I decided I don't like it doesn't make sense to have the wood there. So that's kind of why I ended up never using this design, even though I did make a tutorial for it. Is because like one, it's a pain to make in survival with all the different resources and angles you have to be to place all the blocks in the proper direction. It's not very fun to make survival. This is a lot simpler. For sure. And then this is just like probably the final like roof design I would go for it. This is another thing I'm trying out, is using like trapdoors as like shutters, I guess, for the arrow slits. Like doors make more sense, but I don't like that you can see the handle. They also kind of limit mobility, whereas like these, you're good to go. Yep, we'll probably start building in the next stream or the stream after that. Just kind of like building up the gatehouse section. But that will be it for today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, all that stuff. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.